In Palestine, authorities registered more than 8,000 people killed and over 21,000 wounded in Israel's relentless bombings of Gaza. In Colombia, regional and local elections are underway. Over 38 million citizens are called to the polls. In Kazakhstan, the death toll in coal mine collapse rose to 42. Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Luis Alberto Matos from the TeleSUR studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. Since the beginning of the Israeli attacks on Palestine, 8,005 people have been killed and more than 21,000 injured as a result of the bombings. The Gaza Health Ministry reports that the Israeli occupation forces committed 56 massacres in the last 24 hours, claiming the lives of 302 people. These attacks bring the number of Palestinians killed to 8,005. According to the health authority, more than 21,000 people have been injured so far as a result of bombardments. The Gaza health authorities warned that the collapse of the health system in the Strip is increasing every day. It was confirmed that 12 hospitals have been shut down and 32 healthcare centers have stopped operating. Support demonstrations for the Palestinian people continue. In Lebanon, citizens took to the streets of Beirut to show their support for the Palestinian cause on the 23rd day of the Israeli siege. Citizens of the Lebanese capital came out to demonstrate their rejection of the attacks perpetrated by Israel on the Gaza Strip. The demonstrators also rejected Israel's illegal occupation not only of Palestinian territories, but also of the southern Lebanese territories. People also rejected Israeli attacks against strongholds of the Hezbollah resistance organization inside Lebanese territory. Also in Tunisia, citizens took to the streets to show their solidarity with the Palestinian people in the Gaza Strip besieged by Israel for the last 23 days. Demonstrations took place after the Committee on Rights and Freedoms of the Assembly of People's Representatives approved a bill defining the normalization of diplomatic relations with Israel as a crime. Let's review what happened yesterday in Palestine. Remember that the death toll is already over 8,000 today, Sunday.
United Nations spokesman Stefan Dujarric said his organization has full confidence in the figures published by the Palestinian Health Ministry. He made the statement after the U.S. President Joe Biden, during a visit to Australia, questioned the numbers presented by the Palestinian Authority. Local media denounced that Gaza is more isolated from the outside world after the announcement made on Friday by the Paltel Palestinian Communications Company about a complete shutdown of communications, telephone, and internet services due to the Israeli siege.
The internet is slowly starting to work again in some parts of Gaza. It is the 23rd day of the Israeli siege against the Palestinian people, and the humanitarian situation is worsening as time goes by. Our correspondent Nur Harsin has more details in the following report.
We are back. The internet has eventually come back to some areas around the Gaza Strip, only in southern Gaza and middle Gaza. People who are still residing in northern Gaza and central Gaza City, they still do not have internet access. At the same time, the network lines are still down. We're still facing so much hardship to call each other and to get information from the other side of the Gaza Strip. However, this is something good for Palestinians, at least for Palestinian journalists, that they can spread what is really happening here on the ground on Gaza. over the past 2 days, and because we were not able to report from Gaza, Israel intensified its airstrikes on Gaza. At the same time, it's started its wide-scale land invasion here in the Gaza Strip. Still, they did not encourage much because there is clashes that erupted between them and between the Israeli troops and Palestinian militants here in Gaza. The situation, the humanitarian situation is deteriorating. Tens of hospitals have totally shut down by now, and other hospitals that are still operating, they've totally collapsed because the humanitarian aid is not enough, and because what they really want is fuel. According to the Palestinian Health Ministry, one of the hardest strikes on the Gaza Strip last night was when the Israeli warplanes targeted Al-Habbush family home, Habbush neighborhood. 33 Palestinians were killed. Most of them are children and women, and this is happening daily basis here. Hopefully in the next few hours we will be able to connect everyone around Gaza to see what's the latest also in the news from this side. Noor Harazin, TeleSUR, Gaza.
Let's take now a short break, but remember you can join us on TikTok at TeleSUR English, where you'll find news in different formats, news updates, and much more. Other stories coming up. Stay with us. Welcome back from the south. In Chile, the 12th day of the Pan American Games Santiago 2023 moves forward. Eduardo Regonesi has the latest details. Hello Eduardo, what can you tell us of today's sporting events?
Right now we are on a lunch break. The actions are going to renew around 1500 hours, 3 p.m. local time, where there's going to be a bronze medal match between Prisca Awiti from Mexico and Agustina de Lucia from Argentina. That's in the judo discipline. But tonight we want to talk about what happened earlier this morning, the big controversy of Santiago 2023 so far. A big problem happened early this morning at the 20-kilometer race walk final. Let me do a quick recap of the events. Around 7 a.m., the female 20-kilometer race walk started, and something was off. Something was not right since the beginning. The athletes knew it. As soon as they finished the first turn, the coaching staff knew that something was off. The GPS signal told them that they were going faster. They were going, the times didn't match, the distance didn't match, and the reason was because the field, the track where they were running, was 200 meters shorter than reglementary. This is a big, big mistake. Just so you have an idea, 200 meters shorter in a 20-kilometer race, it's about 2 to 3 kilometers shorter. The race was around, instead of 20 kilometers, was around 17 to 18 kilometers. Of course, this is a huge, huge problem, and already there's a lot of controversy going on here in Santiago. The organization of Santiago 2023 already said that this is not their responsibility. They blame directly the Association of Pan American Athletics. They said they are the entity that's supposed to measure, supposed to see that everything is in place. Santiago 2023, according to Harold May Nichols, the executive director, they're not responsible for this. What does this mean to the athletes? Also a big problem. Kimberly Garcia was the gold medalist from Peru. She won gold medal, and just so you can dimension, so you can picture how big a mistake this was, she finished with a time of 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 26 seconds. The world record for this discipline, it's 1 hour, 26 minutes, 51 seconds by Maria Garcia from Spain. That's the record. So Kimberly Garcia today finished 14 minutes shorter of that record. That's a huge difference. So of course something was not right, and they noticed it right away. Kimberly Garcia won gold, and silver was for Estefania Morejón from Ecuador, and bronze was for Carla Inga from Peru. What's going to happen? They all still keep their medals. They're going to remain gold winners, but the big problem is that the times that they did today are not gonna count. They're gonna be eliminated. That's a big problem, especially since this discipline was one of those in the Pan American 2023 Games that allow athletes to obtain a ticket to Tokyo 2024. These athletes were competing to finish first place so they can win the gold medal and also make it to Tokyo 2024. That is not going to happen because of the big mistake that happened earlier this morning. Big mistake, they caught it, but after that they had to review the whole field. The organization came in, they reviewed the distances, and they fixed it for the men's competition that took place. Instead of 9:30, it took place at 10 because of this huge mess that was happening. And it happened normally, nothing new. It's gonna count. The information that we're managing right now is that it's a valid race where Alexandre Hurtado from Ecuador won the gold, Caio Bonfim from Brazil got the bronze medal, and Andres Oliva from Mexico got the bronze medal. Excuse me, Caio Bonfim from Brazil got the silver medal, Mexico got the bronze medal. First medal for Mexico in this type of discipline in 20 years, so he was very excited. We're gonna keep reporting on this because, as we said, it's a big error, one of the biggest errors here so far in Santiago 2023. We want to see what the authorities have to say about this. We're gonna go, as soon as we're done with you, we'll go in there to judo because, as we said, it's a long day of competition in judo, and we're gonna find out what's going on with the 20-kilometer race walk that happened early this morning. Reporting from Santiago, I'm Eduardo Regonesi. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Eduardo, for the latest information. We'll stay tuned to learn what's happening at Santiago in the Pan American Games. Let's now move on to other news. In Colombia, the regional and local elections are moving forward. More than 38 million citizens are summoned to the polls to vote. The more than 19,922 polling stations set up by the National Electoral Council open their doors at 8 a.m. local time. Citizens will have to elect 1,102 mayors, 32 governors, 12,072 councilmen, 418 deputies, and 6,885 town councilmen. Within the framework of this day, approximately 120,193 police officers were deployed to ensure the security of the elections. Polls are expected to close at 4 p.m. local time. Mexico's National Meteorological Service reported on Saturday the formation of a tropical depression south of the state of Chiapas, which due to its dynamics and wind evolution may constitute a danger for the hydrometeorological situation in the region. In a statement, the institution declared the formation of Tropical Depression 19E to the south of the coast of Chiapas. Its extensive area of clouds will originate punctual intense rains. Winds with strong gusts and high waves are foreseen on the coast of Oaxaca, Chiapas, and the Gulf of Tehuantepec. The forecast stresses the possibility of the occurrence of strong gusts of wind that can go from 40 to 60 kilometers per hour, responsible for waves and swells with waves of 1 to 2 meters high on the coast of Oaxaca, Chiapas, and in the Gulf of Tehuantepec. The SMN called on the population to take extreme safety measures and precautions in areas of the aforementioned states. In Brazil, at least 60 municipalities in the state of Amazonas are in emergency because of the drought that affects the region. These districts in Brazil, at least 60 municipalities are in a state of emergency due to a drought affecting 62 municipalities in the state of Amazonas and Acre are on alert, affecting more than 600,000 people and 152,000 families. Authorities in Manaus said this is the worst drought in 121 years. They also report that this Friday the Negro River reached 12.5 meters, the lowest level since 1902. Experts say this is a consequence of the El Niño phenomenon combined with the abnormal warming of the surface waters of the Pacific Ocean. We have a second short break coming up, but before we invite you to visit our YouTube channel at TeleSUR English, there you will be able to rewatch our interviews, top stories, special broadcastings, and more. Hit the subscribe button and activate the notification bell to stay up to date on the world's most recent events. Final short break, don't go away. Welcome back from the south. In Kazakhstan, the death toll in coal mine collapse rose to 42. The emergency ministry reported that so far the bodies of 42 people have been recovered while the search for the missing continues. It detailed that of the more than 252 people who were trapped, about 200 managed to exit and 18 were given medical attention. Due to this incident, the government of Kazakhstan declared Sunday a day of national mourning and ordered the care of the victims as well as the suspension of the investment with the mining company ArcelorMittal Temirtau. Australia ordered the evacuation of several towns in Queensland in the northwest of the country on Saturday due to intensifying wildfires. Local authorities issued 3 emergency warnings on Saturday morning to municipalities in the area, ordering them to evacuate immediately and confirmed that more than 35 homes had been destroyed by some 80 fires. 20 units equipped with firefighting equipment and mapping aircraft arrived on the scene to continue firefighting missions. According to the Queensland Fire and Emergency Services spokesman, wind forecasts do not indicate that conditions are likely to improve. The European Union will maintain sluggish economic growth in 2023 despite a slowdown in inflation. Inflation fell from 10.6 percentage points in October 2022 to 4.3% in September 2023. However, the president of the European Central Bank, Christine Lagarde, considered that the member states of the bloc should agree before the end of 2023 on new fiscal rules. Lagarde recalled that they should promote the sustainability of public debt and the necessary investments in competitiveness and resilience. The European Union's fiscal rules have been frozen for almost 4 years, and if not reformed by 2024, the most indebted countries will be forced to cut spending and raise taxes. Matthew Perry, one of the stars of the TV sitcom Friends, was found dead at his house on Saturday, U.S. media reported. Law enforcement sources told the Los Angeles Times that Perry was found unconscious in a hot tub at his Los Angeles home by first responders who were unable to revive him. The LA Times and TMZ, which first reported the news, both said there were no signs of foul play, citing anonymous sources. Perry was best known for his portrayal of Chandler Bing on NBC's wildly popular Friends, which ran for 10 seasons from 1994 to 2004. Perry had battled for years with addiction to painkillers and alcohol and attended rehabilitation clinics on multiple occasions. TMZ reported that no drugs were found at the scene on Saturday. We have come to the end of this news brief. Before saying goodbye, we want to thank our Caribbean audience, especially the audience of Trinidad and Tobago. We are pleased to share our newscast and contribute to provide an alternative news source of the latest world events. Tell you live stories of the people of the South and break the hegemonic media dominance. You can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. You can also join us on social media on Facebook, X, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok. For TeleSUR English, I'm Luis Alberto Matos. Thank you for watching.